morning YouTube. Okay, and it's a beautiful morning over here in Phuket. Maybe you're interested in coming out here on holiday, want to hire a scooter, motorbike, car. Can be fun. You get to see some amazing places off the beaten track that you wouldn't normally be able to see. Organised tours, they don't always show you the best bits. Sometimes it's more fun to go off exploring yourself. So if you're interested in driving in Thailand, these are the things that maybe you should know. Hiring a motorbike. Would I recommend hiring a motorbike, scooter or car? Absolutely. However, there are some things important things that you should know. When you hire, normally most places will want you to secure the hire with either a deposit and a copy of your passport or your passport. I would highly recommend you look around somewhere that wants just a deposit and a copy of your passport rather than holding your passport. And there are a few reasons why I say that, and I'll get to those in a minute. I know it's getting harder to find companies that will just take a copy of your passport rather than holding the actual passport itself. And the reasons being is obviously people have had accidents in the past and there's been problems, and they've lost out, the companies have, so they've decided that, you know, we want to keep the passport. It's more of a guarantee because it makes it more difficult for you to leave the country. But on the same side of the coin, there are companies out there that will take your passport and that maybe not 100% bona fide, shall we say, and after the hire period they start to say that the vehicle's been damaged in some way and that you've got to pay money, and unless you pay the money they're not willing to give you your passport back. So these are the reasons why you have to be very careful when hiring out here. Don't get me wrong, there are many genuine companies out here, and I'm not trying to scare people. These are just my opinions, but they're things that you should know and be aware of before hiring a vehicle out in Thailand. The second thing that you should know is the paper that comes with the hire of the vehicle, basically the insurance. This document, a lot of people think that they're fully covered to drive on the roads in Thailand, and that's not exactly correct. It basically allows you to drive on the road legally. However, if you was to have an accident, the bike was stolen or the bike was damaged, you are liable for the cost. 100% liable for the cost. The insurance will not cover the cost of any damage to the vehicle, the loss of the vehicle, or in fact any damage to anything. So you need to be aware of this, that don't think that just because you have a piece of paper and you have an accident you're covered. You're not. So these are things why I strongly recommend you not handing over your passport unless you can help it. I'm not saying that all companies are going to give you a problem, and I'm not saying that obviously you may hire a vehicle and not have a problem during the hire period. Take it back and get your passport back. Many times I've hired vehicles, handed over my passport, not had a problem. But there are occasions when people do, and the occasions that people do have a problem is when they're involved in an accident or there's some sort of damage to the vehicle or the vehicle is stolen. So this is something you really need to be aware of, that the piece of paper that comes with a hired vehicle, it doesn't really cover you apart from driving on the road. So that if you was to get stopped at a police check and they ask you for the papers, you can show them your driving license, because they do now start to ask for driving licenses. People are under an impression that they can come out to Thailand and drive without the correct documentation. I will assure people now that the police are now tightening up on this situation because of the amount of accidents that are out here. Thailand's roads are very dangerous, and they are trying to improve the safety of the roads, and this includes tourists that drive vehicles that are not fully licensed to drive. So again, if you're driving a vehicle out here with no driving license or an incorrect driving license, you will get fined if you're stopped at a police check. They will check the licenses. There used to be laps in the past, not so strict on it, but they're getting more and more now because of the amount of people that are being killed or seriously injured out there. So I would recommend you to bring the correct documentation if you intend to hire any vehicles. If you want to hire a high cc motorbike, make sure your driving license covers you for this cc of motorbike. Don't think that you can come out here with a European license, a British license or an American license that hasn't got the correct categories on, and then think you can hire a bike and the police won't know, because they do. There's a lot of tourist police now from different nationalities, such as England, America, Australia, Europe, and they know what they're looking for on the license. They're not stupid, and they know what to look for. So I highly recommend, if you're going to come out, bring the correct documentation with you. If you don't have the correct documents, licenses, don't hire the vehicle, because the chances are you will get stopped at some point. Now, driving out in Thailand on the actual roads, you should be aware that driving out here is very, very different to driving in Europe and the UK, America. People tend to not give indication when they want to turn. Say there's somebody in the left-hand lane and they want to turn right. They don't even indicate, they don't even give warning. Half the time they don't even look, they just go. And if you happen to be coming up behind them quite quickly, you're not going to be able to stop. So my best advice would be, when driving out in Thailand, always expect the unexpected, because normally that's exactly what happens. So you can have a lot of fun out here driving. You see some crazy things. Some of the things I've seen is it's mind-boggling. When hiring a bike or vehicle, I would check it over, either take a video of the bike, car, whatever the situation, or pictures showing any damage, previous damage on the bike, so you've got something. If you can have something that's got a date stamp on it, even better, because it's just a little bit of peace of mind. They say, oh, this scratch wasn't here before. You can look through your pictures and make sure that if it was, that you can show them. But it can save you a lot of money and a lot of time and hassle at the end of the hire period. Thailand is not the place to start learning to drive, because the roads are so dangerous. One thing I would highly recommend anybody who hires a scooter or a motorbike, wear an helmet. It is law in Thailand, and you will see a lot of people that ride motorbikes and scooters without helmets. This I don't recommend. Now obviously the temperatures out here are very hot, especially from the period of December round to sort of April. It can get very hot, and people say, oh, it's too hot to wear helmets. There's a high percentage that people are going to have accidents out here, and you just don't want to be smacking your head off the ground. Oh, there you go. Somebody's just come off the road there. That just shows you how easy it is. They didn't have an accident, but you see now the problem they're having. It can be very dangerous. No fault, just slipped off the edge of the road there. There's many accidents every day out here, and you really need to be cautious when hiring a vehicle. This guy obviously isn't very confident on a bike, and in my opinion he maybe shouldn't be hiring a bike, because there's an accident waiting to happen, and maybe he's going to hurt somebody else as well as himself. So this is why I recommend that if you're not a confident rider, not to hire, because the roads are dangerous here, and a lot of things, unexpected things can happen. Lady on the back, I don't know why she's helping him along. She should have her feet firmly on the foot pegs to help him balance. If you're a confident rider, you've rode motorbikes before, you shouldn't have a problem out here, as long as you're sensible. Use your brain. I've come round bends and had coaches doing U-turns in the middle of the road. If you're going fast, you're just not going to be able to stop. It's as simple as that. There's so many things that can catch you out over here that can cause a really bad accident and make your day very bad indeed. If you're on holiday, there's no reason to rush. At the end of the day, guys, everybody wants to be safe, everybody wants to have a good time, see some things that you wouldn't be able to see, and there's no reason why you shouldn't have a great holiday and a good rental and not have any problems. But if you start driving like a lunatic or stupid, then you know you're going to make some problems, and you're going to have to pay some money, and you could even be in a worse situation where you have a fatal accident. There's no reason why people can't have a good experience out here. I've been coming out now to Thailand 15 years. In my early days I used to rent, because I didn't have the option to be able to buy and have somewhere to keep it. My position has changed over the years. I have my own bike now with different types of insurance I've got a lot of experience of driving on the roads out here, 15 years of it. You know, touch wood, I've never had a serious accident, but I've had a few close calls. I won't say I haven't. Not all because of my fault, you know, just because of things that you cannot control happening on the road. So even the best riders out here can come unstuck.